Let me tell you something. Stop arguing with people. Arguing isn't gonna get you anywhere. What it's gonna do, it's gonna waste your time and your energy. What's going on with you guys? I'm over here at the park, enjoying some nature, enjoying that sun. Some chill vibes over here. But this was on my mind, so I was like, yo, let me make a video about it because people gotta know this. People gotta know that arguing isn't gonna do anything for them. Now, we gotta understand what an argument is. An argument is a disagreement that involves a lot of screaming. Sometimes it involves a lot of screaming, but argument is basically two people disagreeing, not because, well, it could be because one is wrong, the other one is right. Both of you can be wrong, and y'all just don't know, or y'all just feeding off each other, like arguing like for nothing. Or, which is what I believe is the reason, comprehension levels. Now there's billions of people on this planet, right? But we're all one and the same. The only thing that separates us is the ego, which is this body. And for that reason, we all have different perspectives of reality. Some are closed-minded, some are open-minded. Some people get influenced because of the media and stuff. So they think what the media says is right. So then that changes their perspective of reality into thinking, oh no, that's how it's supposed to be, and that's it. Like, for example, like the media says men, like, I'm just gonna throw this one out there. The media says men are supposed to be one way and women are supposed to be this way. So that influences your reality into thinking that if one doesn't do what you saw was right, then it's not right at all. And that's the problem. We have different perspectives. Not only does perspectives play a part, but the level of comprehension. Like, this is why it's pointless to argue, because if somebody doesn't understand your level of comprehension, then you're not gonna get anywhere. You're wasting your energy. Some people just can't comprehend at your level. It's just that's just the way it is, because they could be closed-minded. That's probably most of the time is because of that, or because like they have some negative shit on attached to them, and that shit is feeding off the argument, the energy of the argument. Once you understand everything is energy, everything changes, literally. So if one can't comprehend you, then what's the point? You're not going to change that person's perspective or reality. You're not going to change it. It's the same thing as, like, if somebody thinks something of you, whatever you say about me is not going to change the way I see myself. So what's the point of you arguing with me about it? Look, this is how you could tell if somebody has some negative shit on them, and that shit is feeding off the energy of the argument. Just say okay. And if they try to keep arguing and bring up the argument again, then they're just feeding off that argument. Now, what is that gonna do? That's just gonna make y'all cut each other off and shit. It's gonna make shit worse. So there's literally no point of arguing. If somebody thinks some way, this is why a lot of people got to be open-minded about things, because You got to see shit from different perspectives. Everything is perspective, everything is comprehension. So if that person doesn't comprehend what you're saying, it's not, and it doesn't make sense to them, you're wrong. You're gonna be wrong the whole time you're arguing. So you're arguing for no reason. You're gonna be wrong the whole time you're arguing, because whatever you say, whatever you do, is not gonna change the person's way of seeing things. And that's just how it is. Now you gotta hope that that person is open-minded enough to see where you're coming from. And if they are open-minded and they still like be like and they still like the perspective doesn't change, then leave it alone. That's it. You can't change people when it comes to how they see reality. You can't. Because majority of people nowadays are closed-minded as fuck. They live in a box. They live in the internet world. They live in society, in how society is supposed to be. But they don't realize that they're not being themselves at that point. If you're following society's rules, you're not being yourself. You're not doing what you want to do. You're not being who you want to be. Like me, for example. I'm gonna come here and hug this tree. Now, who the fuck do you see hugging a tree nowadays? Nobody be hugging trees. But if only you knew that this tree is you. This tree has feelings. This tree is alive. Sometimes you just gotta come up to a tree and be like, I love you. I love you, tree. Be one with, you come from nature, be one with nature. So in somebody else's reality, this shit might be weird and all that, but it's because they're not connected. They're not in tune with themselves. That they can't comprehend where what you're doing. They can't comprehend the benefits that actually brings. Like literally, I just hugged that tree. I feel mad good. Even here, like taking in the sun, like people be waking up at fucking one in the fucking afternoon, taking naps, then wake up at 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And then when you see them, they look all dead and shit because they're not doing this. They're not getting some fucking sun. So stop fucking arguing about shit, because it's not gonna get anywhere. There's like 1,000,001 chance that you will change somebody's perspective in things when you argue. And some people think arguing is fun. Like some people actually do that shit for entertainment. Like, do you think it's normal if you have a significant other too? Like, for example, if you have a significant other, right? And y'all argue consistently, that shit is toxic as fuck, right? But some people like that shit. Some people like the arguing. Like, I don't know. That shit just, it's like they're attached to the arguing, to that negative energy. And at that point, y'all are trying to force something that isn't natural. Arguing is not natural. Y'all trying to force something that's not gonna work. So at that point, you just gotta be like, bro, this person not comprehending me. They're not understanding me. And so they're not meant for me. That's it. So stop arguing, because you're wasting your energy. Sometimes you're going to win those arguments. Sometimes you're going to lose the other arguments. Most of the time, you're going to lose the arguments. It's not even about winning or losing. It's just you can't change somebody. You can't change. Sometimes, like majority of the time, you cannot change how somebody looks at things. It just sticks with them. If it doesn't make sense in their head, they're not gonna change the way they feel about shit, about whatever you're arguing about. So instead of arguing, how about you get into nature? and you live a good life. Argue free. And I hope you guys have a good day, man. I'm gonna keep getting some nature. I'm out.